Cody, tell us a little bit about like some of these prospects that we're chasing.
Yeah, it's a really good prospect list, I think, this year, guys. Specifically, well, one, not only are you getting, like, obviously these top international prospects that we're seeing for the first time, but there is multiple autos of guys we have yet to get that are super highly touted names, specifically Jackson Merrill and Brady House. We talked about that the shortstop class in the last couple of years is crazy good for prospecting right now. Marcelo Meyer kind of being right at the top of that list, but then guys like C.J. Abrams, you can kind of lump them into that now in the major leagues. But House and Jackson Merrill, both near the top of that list. Merrill, I think, batted 339 with a 906 OPS and 227 at-bats this year. Brady House, 791 OPS. I think it's crazy that it's shortstops because you got Roderick Arias, too, of the New York Yankees. Yankee international prospects are always going to be big, and it's just another shortstop prospect for Yankee fans to collect, as if they don't have enough already. But he was the number one guy for international.
Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, he could be. And, well, there's rumors that Gleyber could be on the move this offseason, so he may slot into there.
Doesn't Volpe play shortstop?
Volpe also plays shortstop, yes.
Got a little bit of a log jam there, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be a really big log jam here coming up because you got Volpe, you've got, I think they had Cabrera there. There's another guy that can't figure out. Obviously, they currently have Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, but
Cody Ransom,
great shortstop.
Derek
Jeter might come back. We don't know. So there's a lot of, and hell, the crazy thing is the Yankees might go after one of those huge shortstops this offseason, Correa or Turner.
Once Judge signs with the Giants.
Right, exactly. That's going to be their backup. So, but the guy that I think has been the big name is Jackson Chourio. I think I heard. Has anyone pulled this out? Or maybe I heard a different guy.
We pulled a few of them.
There you go. You guys pulled.
Dan pulled them today.
There you go. He is one of the. He's making his debut. He's a number 10 prospect. He is shot up through the system. I think he was like the 18th ranked international prospect when he signed.
Well, the back of his card says he was ranked
17th
on the Brewers.
Right.
So by the time his card came out, he's 10th overall and number 1.
And number 1 on the Brewers.
Number 1 on the Brewers, 10th in all of baseball. He went from low A to double A by the end of the season. Just completely tore up through the minor leagues. Batted .288 this season with an .829 OPS, 20 homers, 439 plate appearances. There's a chance that at just 20 years old in 2024, he's going to be in the opening day lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers.
That's crazy. And that's the beauty of Bowman. And if you're new to collecting and you don't understand Bowman because there's not a lot of big names, yes, you do have your Julio Rodriguez chase in there for his rookie autos, which should do pretty well. Maybe not as well as the Topps Chrome version, but should be like a second to that. You've also got, obviously rookies of Wander as well. And but the main focus here is the prospects. And I always use this as an example, but if you go back to 2016, the names that people were chasing in Bowman Chrome then were Vladimir Guerrero, a little bit of Fernando Tatis, but not Juan Soto. And then fast forward a couple years, Juan Soto wins the championship. Now, obviously, everybody's like going in their boxes and finding their Juan Sotos. So I think you got a lot of that. Even if you open a box and you don't get one of these big names, it's what could be about Bowman. Other sports, it's not the same thing. Felipe Franks. You pull a Felipe Franks, you already know it's not going to happen for him, right? You pull a Hunter Renfroe, probably not going to happen for the guy. But with baseball, it takes a little bit of time for these guys to develop.
Why
you pull a 2-2 Atwell, not going to happen for the guy,
scored
right?
a 65-yard touchdown.
Well, but
and Hunter Renfroe is probably one of the best possession receivers in the league.
Never heard of him. You mean Colt McCoy's dad?
Now Felipe Franks. I think you have a point.
Yeah. Well, you get the.
But I don't know how you could compare Hunter Renfroe and like Felipe Franks.
The first Raider that came the face of the Raiders.
I was gonna say maybe you're thinking of baseball's Hunter Renfroe. I don't know.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. But it's just
who's the better? That's a good question.
Player, though.
Who's the better Hunter Renfroe?
Raiders. Although baseball Hunter Renfroe definitely making
He's
a
good
run
ball
right
player.
Now. Very good ball player. Just got traded to the Angels. I just saw.
Yeah.
One's with a W, one's with an E. Correct.
That's correct. Yeah.
Now, are they interchangeable? Could the Raiders Hunter Renfroe play baseball? And can the baseball Hunter Renfroe run routes for the Raiders?
You know what? I actually think baseball's Hunter Renfroe.
And would anybody notice the difference?
And baseball Hunter Renfroe, I think, could play football. He's kind of a beefy dude. He could play. I think he could go out there and take some hits.
Hunter Renfroe on the Raiders is this kind of small guy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll call
He could
him.
pass for like a second
I broke
baseman.
with him. I know
You
him.
know?
I know him personally. You know, he's in my top 5 on my MySpace friends list. But you know, he was getting compared to being a punter when I was breaking with him. People in the chat were saying, "Is that the punter?"
first ever kicker at the rookie photo shoot.
That's right. That's
The
right.
disrespect.
But he was a great interview, great breaking personality, and I think he pulled like an Aaron Rodgers to 5 out of a game.
Speaking of the same rookie photo shoot, Darrell Henderson released from the Rams.
Ah.
Crazy.
So who's your guy? Cam Akers?
Cam Akers.
Back.
Cam Akers and
ooh-wee.
Kylan Williams, rookie.
So head on over to Mojobreak.com for your Bowman Chrome breaks. The hobby version is the one that's going to have 40 base cards along with your 2 autos. I believe 40 base cards, if my math's correct. But the choice version is just 3 autos. So it's kind of whatever cup of tea. And they're actually really close in price this year. Usually the choice was much more. But now I think the with the base cards. So with the hobby, if you strike out on the autos, you do have a chance of maybe getting a Julio base rookie. You know, some of these big name prospects rookies, which you won't, or first Bowmans, but you will not get that in the choice. So it's whatever your cup of tea is. If you're just want the autos, the choice is your thing. That's your choice. And then the hobby has got your base cards as well. So we got breaks of both types. Today, Wednesday, as we're recording this, we're on the hobby release day. Friday is the choice release day. And I'm sure you can jump on our site at any time and you'll be able to find a Bowman break at Mojobreak.com. Speaking of Bowman Chrome, SGC is putting their name in the hat. They're saying, grade with us. Don't forget about the third guy on the totem pole. We're doing a $9 grading on any 2022 Bowman Chrome.
Wow.
So no minimum or maximum order size, no declared value limits, 5 to 10 day turnaround.
Wow.
Big.
They
Wow.
are being aggressive. I like it. I like it. We've got the grading
I like
wars.
the marketing on a release specific event.
Yeah.
That's actually really, really cool. I mean, if you were to do that with, yeah, I mean, you could do that across the board. If you have manufacturers jump on like NT or, you know, Bowman Draft would also be a good one to do. That's rad. I like that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go on their site, it's first and foremost on their page, and they also are literally pimping. Don't pay for auto grades, and avoid unnecessary upcharges. Don't pay unnecessary upcharges to have your modern grades at SGC. What you pay up front for modern grading cards is what you will pay regardless of the card's value.
So
that's like shot PSA.
Can we still use that word?
What?
Pimping?
That's true. I don't know. We are in 2022.
I don't. Is that okay? Even though I just said it.
I'll allow it.
You'll allow it? Thanks,
I'll
Cody.
allow it. I'm the arbiter of what's okay, I guess, in this scenario, and I say sure.
Yeah,
I just wasn't sure. I'm like,
It's another way of saying promoting. That's all I'm saying is they're promoting the fact that they do not do upcharges, which I felt in the Keister at the National a couple of years back when I had to pay not only $1,000 to grade a LeBron refractor that we pulled on site, but then got news that I had to pay an extra $1,000 after the grade came back. Good news, Doug. You're going to have to pay an extra $1,000. I said, why is that
and
good
the
news?
funny thing is that card even worth the grading fees now?
No. So basically at a PSA 8, it would have been like an $18,000 card, which my $1,000 grading fee would have covered. But because they graded it a 9, it gets into the level of a $2,000 price point because it's deemed value of $35,000. So, I mean, you look at a company like SGC going against that.
You should be able to sell the card back to the grading company for $35,000 then.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what you guys said it was worth.
Like, why are they, like, what if I never wanted to sell the card? Why are you taking a piece of my sale in the moment?
They should give you a credit back for $1,000.
Yeah, it's a wild thing that what do we know when that started with PSA?
I don't because, I don't think we ever really graded any cards like that until something like that.
That process at some point has to go away, right?
Well, here's my thing. Sales are probably down. They've opened up. There's probably less cards going through than last year, right? Less high dollar cards. So, if you're in the business of making money like they are, wouldn't you be like, if it's something that's an 8, why don't you bump it up to a 9 because we're going to get extra money? And they have your card in their hand. So you're not going to not pay the $1,000 to get your card back. So wouldn't it be in their best interest to grade you a little higher on certain value of cards to get more money.
But we've seen quite the opposite of that. It's been, especially with PSA, they seem like they've gotten even harder to get good grades.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's one thing I will add is that when I got back into the hobby back in 2012, it's basically what I'm trying to say is that never assume that PSA is the leader now that they're always going to be the leader. SGC is being very aggressive. They've gained a lot of ground recently, especially with modern stuff.
And they had that mantle that just popped off.
They had the mantle, and there's a lot of people that are like, even starting last year, I started really like looking at their slabs and being like, oh yeah, I don't mind. I still think it's the third best design, right, slab wise. But they're gaining a lot of ground. They're doing things like this where they're saying like $9 for Bowman Chrome. They're saying we're not going to upcharge you. I saw a thing on Instagram the other day that blew my mind that the SGC Curry sold for $10,000 more than the BGS Curry of the same grade.
Wow.
And it blew my mind because I'm like, I still prefer the BGS slab, the way it looks, over the SGC slab, right? Especially for modern cards. Vintage cards, I love the way the SGC looks. But for modern cards, I prefer the BGS though, and it blew my mind that it sold for $10,000 more than the BGS.
I'm actually thinking about opening some Bowman Chrome for myself because, yeah, I mean, if you think about a $50 auto, right? You're not going to send a $50 at the time. It could go up, but you're not going to send a $50 auto in for $25, whatever and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm assuming for PSA it's around $25. But it's like 180 days.
A long time.
So it's gonna be forever before you get your card back. And then with this, they're saying 5 to 10 day turnaround,
Yep.
$9 a card.
And that's
like I'm gonna almost grade every card again.
Yep.
Here we go again.
This type of move.
This is how we got in this. This is how we got in this problem a couple of years ago.
I'm
gonna grade every single. Like, does it have to be an autograph?
No.
No.
So
Any card.
So I'm gonna open up a box of Bowman Chrome and I'm sending every single card in.
But this is.
But at least it's only specific to that brand, so they're not
Yeah.
opening it. That's how they're limiting the exposure that they're going to
You
have.
make
to
a
get
lot
behind.
of Bowman Chrome.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Bowman Chrome cards.
It's not
This
like
is how you get backlogged.
It's not how like you're right about that. But it's not like they're doing like Prism and
Not
Optic
yet.
and all these other products.
I mean,
But
it's a great promo. I'm not hating.
no, this is the type of promo that could lead to more shift in the market where people are like when newer guys come in, they're like, oh, Bowman Chrome 2022, like all the cards are SGC. That must be the main company.
Right. And especially if you have like a Jackson Churio becoming like a Trout.